All right. I have a call to action for my Patreon people and my followers wherever you found me. We know that since the Trump regime has taken office for the second time, basically illegally and unconstitutionally, and that has proven to be the case on basically an hourly basis, there are so many high crimes and misdemeanors. I think it's hard to count. It's like happening basically by the hour. But for right now, we're going to talk about the human trafficking, the kidnapping, and the illegal renditioning to other countries, as well as for profit prisons for basically slavery, serving wealthy billionaires and the people that have stock in the private prison industrial complex. So we know that there's been an issue that has been brought to the courts for the illegal kidnapping and renditioning people to other countries before people have an opportunity to have a hearing, getting like before they're allowed due process. So there's been recent cases that were brought to the Supreme Court. And unfortunately, and I cannot believe this, I mean, to say I cannot believe it happened is not entirely true. I have an understanding that the people that are in charge and the people that are in the majority on the right wing Supreme Court they come out of the Federalist Society, and before that, they are basically groomed by a handful of primarily like religious zealot groups, and through the Heritage Foundation and the Federalist Society, like these right wing think tanks, they groom people to get into leadership in the country because they want a Christian nation, a fascist, authoritarian dictatorship, a religious, fascist, theocratic state. Sounds like a conspiracy, but it's really not. Like, there's a ton of evidence to this, and if you like look at Project 2025, if you understand that in totality, essentially that's what this is trying to do, and that's been the plan for 50 to 60 years. But I say that to say this: the Supreme Court has granted a stay in allowing third country deportations. And again, sorry, that's the wrong word. Like third country renditions for undocumented peoples. So there's no line between somebody being undocumented and somebody who is a citizen or who is doing the legal process to get here. We know they've been grabbing people at their workplaces. They're going to school and grabbing kids. They're stopping people in traffic. They're grabbing people that went to their court dates for immigration to do it the legal way. And they're mostly grabbing people that didn't violate the law. They don't have a criminal record. And now the Supreme Court, I think the 5-4 or 6-3 majority, I forget what the decision was, but you should read the dissent. But the dissenting opinion basically pointed out that in situations like this, in cases like this, they really need to decide with caution and consider the unreparable harm, because like they were sending people to places like Sudan that are dangerous. Like the ICE agents were at risk, and the people that were detained there were at risk, and they had to keep rotating out the ICE agents at our expense. This is an atrocity. This is like crimes against humanity. This is injustice. This is not just obstruction of justice. This is the Supreme Court aiding and abetting crimes against humanity. Like, I would argue that's obstruction of justice and aiding and abetting crimes. And I would argue the Supreme Court should be arrested. They should be disbarred. They should be impeached and removed and sent to the Hague for judgment, along with everybody else that was involved in all of this. Anybody who is not standing 10 toes down against this fascist regime, I am sorry, but you are complicit. You are complicit with crimes against humanity. We are all at risk. So I am on here to ask for some peaceful resistance action from everybody who is watching this. And please share this as far as possible and contact your representatives. I'm asking for a letter campaign to all members of the House, all members of the Senate, to the Supreme Court, and to, yes, the executive branch. We need to say that this is wrong, and we demand that we need the Supreme Court justices that went along with this to resign or to be impeached, to be removed, to be prosecuted, if not sent to the Hague. I'm not entirely sure what the qualifiers are with getting the ICCJ involved, but I would request reforms. If the United States representatives and leaders that are involved in all of this cannot be prosecuted currently, they need to reform their criterion for what qualifies. I would imagine it does, because they're sending these people to other, like, third countries. This must be a clear violation of international law and also to our Constitution. All persons, unless it says explicitly that you have to be a citizen, which many of the rights that we're talking about are covered under our Constitution. Like, this is a violation of people's Eighth Amendment rights. That's the one that protects you from cruel and unusual punishment. To be sent to some third country that you've never been to, that's basically like a war zone where we know that people have been tortured and killed, that violates the Eighth Amendment. It's definitely a violation of the Fourth Amendment for illegal searches and seizures. Seizures includes your person. Like, if you haven't been accused of anything, like, being undocumented is a civil offense. It's not a criminal offense. It's not a federal offense. It's like paramount to a parking ticket. You're going to allow someone to go get tortured and killed over something that is equivalent to a parking ticket? Are you kidding me? What is going on? So I outlined what I think should be in the letters in my post on my this is in the free portion of my Patreon page. But I am greatly concerned. We are at grave risk right now because this Republican regime and along with the members that are in the majority of the far right Supreme Court, yes, they are partisan. Yes, I understand that they have ruled against the Trump administration a handful of times, but I think that is just to give them cover so they don't appear too favorable to the obvious and illegal things that this regime is doing. They're allowing them enough room and making major decisions that are paramount to clear violations of the Constitution. The Eighth Amendment, the Fourth Amendment, I've mentioned those already. The Fifth Amendment means that you are supposed to get due process. Sixth Amendment means you're required to have legal representation. And we've seen violations of the First Amendment. There was a gentleman that was, they're not a citizen, and I don't remember if they were on U.S. soil when this happened yet or not. But the guy just had a meme of a, J.D. Vance that's like bald, and it's like a funny picture of J.D. Vance that's been going around. People have used it a bunch of times, and it's just mocking J.D. Vance, which all of us have a right, like whether they like it or not. That's our First Amendment right. We get to make fun of you, whether you're being a good leader or not. Like, learn how to take a joke. I thought Elon Musk said comedy is legal again, right? Like, maybe have a thicker skin if you're a public figure. Not everybody's going to like you. People are going to make fun of you, whether you're an asshole or you're a decent human being. Most of the time these days, decent human beings get attacked way more than awful human beings do. But we're at risk. We're a massive risk. Like, we're a hair's breadth away. Hair's breadth. We're at a razor's edge away from losing our democracy completely. Like, the Supreme Court in itself is about to be rendered obsolete. Congress, same thing. Basically obsolete. The House, the Senate, like, they're ignoring all of it. They're just doing whatever the hell they want. We are losing our country, and we cannot allow this to happen. We need a massive letter campaign that should be basically nonstop. We need to flood them with, yes, snail mail, because that's harder to ignore. And we do need to get out into the streets. We need to be protesting as often as we can, and we should try to get a general strike going. That's important. We basically need to shut down the economy because these billionaires only speak in dollars. They're adding more and more power to their surveillance tactics, and using, like, we now have bounty hunters going after people, and they're mostly grabbing people that are not, like, they should be presumed innocent until proven guilty in a court of law. That's America. That's what our American justice system is supposed to be doing. Not these big shows of force to cause fear and to get people to self-deport. And now we know, like, white nationalist Stephen Miller is the one who's basically pulling all the strings here, writing executive orders. He wants there to only be about 100 million or 135 million people here that look just like him and myself. I don't want that. That's not American. That's anti-American. We are a multicultural country. White supremacists can suck it up. Their insecurity should not be our problem. Their inferiority complex should not be our problem. Whatever issues they have, they need to go fix themselves. Stephen Miller, fuck you. And the entire Trump regime that enables him and following his Nazi orders. This is disgusting and it has to stop. Write letters, use your voice, call your Congress people, tell the Democratic Party to grow a goddamn spine and start acting towards this Republican regime as what they are. It's a hostile government. It's a hostile regime. It's not a government because it's not legitimate. Stop treating it like it's business as usual. This is not business as usual. This is not normal politics. Stop waiting for the damn polls to shift in your favor. Everything is on the line right now. Everything. We need to act like it. Let's go. Check out my language. You know, you can revise it as you like, make it sound like yourself. It's probably beneficial that, you know, people use their own words rather than to appear like a form letter. But I spell it out in my description. You don't have to pay on. You don't have to be a paid member to look at this. But, you know, if you decide to join as a paid member to get the different tiers, please do so. I appreciate it, and I appreciate your support. But it's not about money. It's about forming a community and getting some movement in the right direction, because we desperately need it right now. We need truth tellers, and we need people that are forming communities, because community is our strength. This individualistic culture of ours has left us vulnerable to people that want us divided, they want us isolated, and they want us to feel powerless. We cannot let that happen. We have power as a community, as a people. We, the people, have to raise our voice and say loud and clear, not another goddamn day, not another life affected, not another injustice. This is not going to be a white nation. It is certainly not going to be a Christian nation. It never was, and it never will be. We are a multicultural society. We are a people of many different religions and no religion. We have all different cultures and backgrounds, all different beliefs. We have a right to speak. And as long as we don't harm anyone else, we have every right to be here. Everyone does. I don't give a fuck about borders. Republicans want to cry about open borders, but like, that's never been the case. The borders have never been open. And the people that were brought here during the Biden, presidency were brought here because of the harms that U.S. policy, U.S. intervention caused. And also our contributions to climate change. That's the truth. They were brought here legally under temporary protected status. To say that's an invasion, that's some shit that only Nazis would say, only fascists would say, only white nationalists would say. They just have a problem with their skin color. But you saw what they, how they responded to the people from South Africa, the Afrikaners that they brought in. They brought them in with open arms and promised them a bunch of money and property and all that stuff. And what's the difference? They're white. They're white. And they pretended there's a white genocide, which is complete bullshit. We're dealing with Nazis. We're dealing with fascists. This country is not supposed to be a fascist country. It's supposed to be a democracy. It's supposed to be a republic. Like, it's supposed to be for we the people. And we have elections to decide who's going to be the leaders. And we got to do better with that, because our current batch of leaders, I don't know what's going on with them, but they need a big shakeup. And I'm super excited about what just happened in the mayoral race in New York City. Zohran Mamdani looks like he's going to take that primary. We're still waiting on the final results, but you got to see his speech. Check out my playlist on YouTube for the kinds of leaders that we need. His speech nearly brought me to tears. I love to hear passionate people that sound and act like real leaders. We need more of that. We really do. We got to stop with business as usual politics, with serving our freaking donors instead of the people. It's not what this country was founded on. It's not by and for and of the 1%, which is what we're seeing right now in the Republican regime. Those people are funded by the most evil people in the world that have divided us up. And that's wrong. It's un-American. So please help me out. Please consider taking some peaceful action of resistance. I do not want to lose our country. Too many people have sacrificed. I did. My grandfather did. Millions of other people did and do now. And they're being deployed against our people. Are you kidding me? I care. And if you care, don't be apathetic. Get involved. Pay attention. Everything's on the line. I can't overstate that enough. Everything's on the line. Please help me. Thank you.